Hi everyone. Sunday to you. Just going to give it another moment to see if anyone else is going to hop in with us. And
how are things in Portland?
Well, thank you for asking. Portland as a whole is fine, right? So if you're in the city anywhere outside of those few blocks around the federal courthouse, it's Portland as usual, at least Portland as usual, a la COVID. But right around the federal courthouse, it's crazy. The feds have come in. They aren't invited. They weren't asked to be here by our governor or the mayor of Portland. So anyway, a bit of a confrontation up there. So we can all hold space for them. And what they're standing for is that Black Lives Matter, right? That's the focus. And the feds have come and derailed it and taken it and also made it a bigger stage. And now, you know, other cities have been standing in solidarity with Portland. Feds are going into other cities right now. It's, you know, the United States is entering a different kind of phase, and we Americans need to make some big decisions about how we're going to tolerate this from our government, in my opinion. And this is a place for all opinions. So prayers to the people of Oregon, to people all over this country who are standing in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. Prayers to all of those men in unidentified military uniforms who are holding weapons, that their hearts soften and crack open. Yeah. And to that man who we gave power to collectively as a government, even if you didn't vote for him, that somewhere in there something shifts. May it be so. And to all those leaders around the world with a similar fascist outlooks. But this isn't a soapbox for me to be like, rah, about that. This is a place for us to pray for all of that and to pray for all sides of all of that and all beliefs within all of that. And Eric just jumped in. Eric is in Portland right now. He lives up there. Hi, Eric. We were just asked how it is in Portland, and I was sharing a little bit about that, at least what I know from my place an hour and a half down the road. Let me get the screen share on. We've arrived at week 19, which is just quite something, really. I am amazed by that. Can you all see the slideshow now? Is it there? Great. I think we've all been here before, all of us that are on the call right now. So I'm not going to go through all of this too much. We know what our agreements are and what to do to pray. We know how to pray. So let's just dive right in to our honoring and then our breathing. And I don't know. How about rather than me calling the prayer circle open, we'll just start breathing together. And when it's time to pray for you, you'll pray. And I instead of me asking, who else wants to share? Who else wants to share? This isn't about me guiding it so much as all of us just arriving together into this place. Does that sound good for everybody? Does anybody have an objection to that? Okay. So then that allows me too to just sink in and keep my own eyes closed as we're breathing and meditating and receiving and honoring and holding. And then you just unmute yourself when you're ready to say something. Okay? I like it. I need it today to just like, it's been a week. In gratitude of the directions east, south, west, north, above, below, and center. We are honored with this opportunity to co-create in this space. In gratitude of the elements, air, fire, water, earth, akasha, we are honored with the building blocks that provide foundation. In gratitude of time, past, present, future, we are honored by the ancestors, all of us here now. The two-legged, the four-legged, the swimming, the scaled, the furry ones, all the kinds, and the descendants. In gratitude of the makers, Mother, Father, God, and all your names, we are honored with this opportunity to experience the gift of life. In gratitude of the guides, teachers, divinity, nature, archetypes, allies, we are honored with the wisdom, understanding, and patience. In gratitude of ourselves, heart, mind, body, soul, we are honored with this chance to serve the highest good of all. And so we just are going to breathe deeply into our heart center, connecting with the beauty of that love that you hold, that I hold, that we collectively hold together. And identify your heart flame or the warmth or whatever it is within yourself that you recognize as your holy of holies. And breathe into that place. And now reach down to the very core, the very heart of the earth, breathing it, thanking it, honoring it, and breathing all that wisdom and that love up through your base into your heart center where it mixes and mingles with your love. And now reaching out to the very heart of the cosmos, however far or near that is, and gather up all that vast intelligence, all the knowing that it knows from all that it is, and breathe that down through your crown into your heart center where it mixes and mingles with your love and all that wisdom of the earth. And that flame, that warmth, that fire that animates you now glows even brighter. And each of our fires now connect, creating a beacon, a spotlight of brilliance, of illumination to carry our prayers. And perhaps, just perhaps, we can envision in the center of this circle that we create together, we can envision a fire, a cauldron that's burning low right now. It's just gently crackling away, and we each hold in our hands a stick where we light that stick from our own heart flame and we add it to the fire that's in the circle of all of us. And as we each add our piece, our fire to that collective fire, it begins to crackle and burn and grow until that fire lights up the darkness and opens the way for all of our prayers. Whether silent or spoken, whether sung or chanted, we invite the guides and the allies, divinity and all the names, to sit around this fire with us and add their own fire to the center. And so together we breathe around this circle, around this collective fire. One people, one planet. One universe holding us all. have this really wonderful image in my mind's eye I want to share with you all as we're sitting in this circle together and our heart flames are bright and there's this fire in the center. We've all added a little bit of our fire to that fire, into this collective, and I've been sitting with that fire and watching it and feeling it and noticing how it moves and crackles and how its heat fills the space. And then all those allies, the divinity all around that showed up, they got out their marshmallows and their graham crackers and their chocolate and they started making s'mores. So we're having s'mores with the gods. It just brought a smile to my heart. So I'll share that with you. Not so much a prayer, but an honoring of joy and sweetness and sharing together. Thank you.
That's important these days too. Very.
And of course, Set's marshmallow burned. It happens.
I appreciate your image of the fire and all of us gathered round. This is Eric from just outside of Portland, Oregon. And I belong to a community that does a whole lot of spiritual work around a fire, and I've been missing our fire circles and our ability to be in community. And just that image was very powerful for me and means a lot. And it was nice to visit it in my mind. It also evokes the longing I have to be in community and all of that. I'm just, it leads into my prayer, which is to say to, oh, oh precious loving God. One thing I have learned over the last several years is that my timeline is usually not your timeline. And my desire for this difficult period to be over and just for something better to come forward is marked with a lot of impatience on my part. And I'm reminded that your time frame is different, and I need to surrender my impatience and my anxiety about it to you, that you will guide us and carry us forward, and that somehow, some way, this will count for something good and bring us into hopefully a better alignment with you. I know that one of the things I've learned is that when things get really tough, one of the messages I have is to draw closer to you, and I am endeavoring to do so. And I think all of us are called to be more in alignment with the spirit, with you, with the earth, and to follow the great teachings of compassion and kindness and love. And it becomes that much harder when things are so difficult for so many people. May you engender in us that flame of heart-centered compassion and love, so that it may spread and suffuse the world, all people, and all of the living life, and even non-living life on this beautiful planet you have for us. Please guide us, give us strength, and bring us forward gently, if you can, if it is your will, into a better tomorrow. Amen.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. That was wonderful. As you were talking earlier, Indigo, of the riots and so forth that are going on, I think that it may have called the Netaru that was going to come through today. For me, it was a surprising one, Set. I've actually worked quite a bit with Set in positive ways, even though, oh, protests, excuse me. Thank you. I went to, I guess Set had me going in the wrong direction. He's a bit on the extreme end. All right. Anyway, and then when you were describing the marshmallow, it burned, all it popped into my head was a picture of Set going around with a little match and burning all our marshmallows and melting our chocolate. So he was still around, but this is what he presented today, and I think it's quite appropriate for what's going on. Excuse me. By many names, I, the red beast, am called. All names by vibrations, they attract me, and yet mankind makes that stigma ever more indelible by their ignorance, impatience, and their dark fears. But do not blame me or any name by vileness that is surrounding you, for chaos and storms are but the direct means of forcing change. Indeed, chaos is an asset, as I, the red beast, the archetype called dark or evil, even do I wear the face that some call by the name of Satan. Yet none understand that the winds of change have been begun by the whispers of warning uttered from my heart. The sands of Kamsim range, but they bring the beauty of spring, even to the driest and harshest deserts. Changes mankind has cried, words, prayers out and asked for more change. And yet those words have been too often empty echoes, for nothing changes from tears or fear left unspoken. I offer the fury to stir hearts into action, but I cannot be blamed when that action is not taken. Hate blisters my name on the minds of too many, and yet they seek to understand. Yet do they seek to understand that I too obey and bow to the laws of Maat. It is those laws to which all life, human, animal, and archetype must abide and understand. You as humans walk a world of estranged walk a world estranged and in terrible conflict from heart and mind and angry words. Yet take up that sword, but first dull its blade. Draw not the lifeblood, for that will merely taint the intention. Blood, tear, gas, and hateful words only destroy the seeds sown in the name of peace, compassion, and truth. For it is that middle ground where truth awaits. Leave it not standing for all the tomorrows, ankle deep in the blood, even the symbolic sort. Too many eons have passed with too many closed hearts and minds. Although the corona beast has devastated lives in every way, you could never have asked or imagined it all possible. And yet it came not by my hand or desire, but it came as the most needed teacher ever. A tiny virus taking so many lives indeed, its message seems to be unheard and unheeded, even now. There's still time, even I, as the archetype of storm and chaos and negative ideas. To my purpose, I brought balance to the earth. Remember the key I carry in my name, upon my name is change. The use of that key is in your hearts and your hands. Once the winds of change and rage of storms and chaos across the land quells, let not the great praise that taking of, let not that great pause be taking of a breath, not to be used for resurgence of the terrible devastation all around you. Let it become a gentle breeze that wafts from the lips that mean the words they speak, not in vain or anger or hatred, but whispers filled with the hope, truth, and compassion that you of the earth have promised and desired. Inshallah, the lessons shall be learned and hope restored, for the truth shall set all free and fuel to prevail and fuel to prevail. Your misunderstanding, friend, Set is how he added the last. Your misunderstood friend, Set. And I just thought that was a very interesting measure to step forward, and he had quite a message. So thank you all.
I just wanted to say that we're all looking at this as a birthing of a new age and a new place. And those of us who have had children have got to remember, even if it's only minuscule, how very painful that can be and how very disruptive it can be. So the thing we have to do when birthing a child is breathe. And I guess that's what we need to be, yes, what we need to be doing now.
So may we continue to keep our awareness on our breath as we move through this process of rebirth for each of our own selves and for our communities, for this country in the United States, for all the countries in the world itself. May we take care of each other, watch out for one another, and help one another out, and protest in whatever ways we can to the injustices in the world. Protest doesn't have to be standing out on the street, but if you can, please do. And protests aren't riots. And I corrected that, Anita, because there's a lot of press going out across the country that there's riots and that the Portland people are being destructive. They've spray painted some graffiti, that's it, and so it's important to differentiate the riots from the protests. And so I send my prayers
Yeah,
out.
I appreciate that. I misspoke and I didn't even think the word I was using. So thank you for doing that because it was incorrect.
And thanks for hearing that. And just so that we hold that prayer for all those protests, whether it's on the street or behind a computer screen or in the ways we purchase things in our world, right? To choose what's in alignment with our own highest good and health, that's going to help all of us. So I send prayers to our choices, right? To our choices, our ability to choose what's right and wrong, and our ability to act on that. And I think that I just end today with gratitude. So many thank yous, so many thank yous, so many thank yous for the gift of life, for the gift of possibilities, for the gift of pause, for the gift of reassessing, for the gift of humanity to look at itself in a new way and not in such a narcissistic, we are the only, we are the most important, we, me, me. But us, not humanity, but humanity and all the systems of life that we are so deeply embedded within and dependent upon that we cannot exist without, and we act as if we're independent of it all. And I know that there are many of us, hot, you can see my short hair, that are like the white blood cells in the body of Gaia, right? And we're working and we're doing what we can to help bring the health and vitality. But there are other aspects of even what I do that's more like a cancer cell in the body of Gaia. So may I choose the way that is of high health and high good. And what an awkward prayer I have this morning, but that's it, that we may wake up to ourselves, to each other, to this planet, to the preciousness that it is to be alive, right? Because it's really a blink in the greatness of the cosmos. My life is like smaller than a speck of a speck of a speck of a speck. And yet within that, I am so obligated to do what I can to be a good speck. So may we all be good specks together.
Indeed.
Showing up. Thank you for being here with me, being here for each other. And I'm going to unmute us all. Whoops. Let's all be in the same space. I can't unmute most of you because you've muted yourselves.
Thank you so much for that sentiment, and may we all aspire to that. Thank you for this opportunity to be together, for
Indeed.
within the beautiful opportunity to be on this planet. Thank you.
Indeed.
Indeed, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Eric, thanks, Lynn, and all those of you out there who are listening to this later on in the world. Thank you for your prayers and your holding this world in your heart.
Mm.
Thank you,
Right.
everybody.
Thank you all.
Next Sunday.
Thank
Good
you
week.
all.
Yeah. Have a
Everyone have a good week.
How are the
gentle.
blueberries?
They are blueberrying. We are in the very peak of our season this week. We're pulling in between 500 to 800 pounds a day, and it's a lot of blueberries.
Wow.
We have
Wow.
about 2 more weeks of our season, and then we kind of wrap down. So at that point, then maybe I'll come back and say, okay, what's the best time for everybody? Is this a good time or next week? So think about that. Think about if you had a
Right.
choice of
Okay.
when the circle was, what would be the very best time for you? And maybe we'll just I'll put our choices out there and see what's the most common. And maybe this is it.
All
Maybe
right.
at 11 is our day. But then my season's over and I have more flexibility. So we'll see.
Blessings on you all.
Right.
Bye for now.
Thanks. Bye for now. I'm going to go ahead and
Yes.
stop reading.
So long,
Blessings to
everyone. Thank
everyone.
you. Thank
Have a good
Thank you.
week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.